With everything so expensive these days, the Ford Ranger Raptor is actually kind of a bargain. For its $62,000 price tag, you get 405 horsepower, you get Baja suspension and selectable exhaust, you get nice creature comforts, and so comparatively to like the TRD Pros at Tacoma and Toyota, this comes in at 10 or 12 grand cheaper than that truck. However, I understand that $62,000 is still a lot of money. So I started to look elsewhere. Elsewhere like this. This is a 2018 Ford F-150 Raptor. So the bigger chassis, but this is a few years old. This is the last generation body style of the Raptor. They have since moved on to a new body style, and you can find them for almost half the price of a new Ranger Raptor. It's bigger, has a bigger engine. What could go wrong? Well, let's talk about it here today. We're gonna be doing a comparison between the Ford Ranger Raptor, the 2026, and this 2018 Ford F-150 Raptor to see if it's worth the price and if maybe you could luck out with a better deal with this than buying something new off the lot. But let's start under the hood. So let's start off under the hood of the Ranger Raptor from 2026. This is the 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that you'll find in the Explorer ST, the Bronco Raptor, and of course this Ranger Raptor. It makes 405 horsepower, which is nothing to thumb your nose at. It's pretty quick and zippy, and for the package that you get, it's really nice. Most other Rangers come with a 2.3-liter turbo inline 4. You can opt them with a 2.7-liter V6, but this is the top dog, making the most amount of power here in the Ranger. The F-150 Raptor from the second generation that we have here today has a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. So the engine goes up in size from the Ranger, as well as it makes 45 more horsepower, meaning this makes 450 horsepower. Now, the F-150 is bigger and heavier, so the grudge match will come here in a second when we drag race them, but let's hop inside. So moving into the interiors, I want to talk about the back seat space because the dashboards are going to be different. They're different generations of trucks. They're different chassis of trucks and things like that. But this back seat is not very great. Now you can lift up the seat below me and you get extra storage space, which is very, very nice. You get a wall outlet, USB-A, USB-C, things like that, but this is definitely going to be a downside and an L in the category of Ranger Raptor when compared to the F-150. It's pretty cramped. So yeah, it's not great. As you can tell, the F-150 Raptor is way, way better in the back seat. Still has the back seats that'll flip up to allow more storage, but we have heated seats back here, we have a wall outlet, and I'm a big guy, and I fit back here very, very happily. I would love to go on a road trip in the back of the F-150 Raptor, less so in the Ranger Raptor. Now, something to note is that the Ranger Raptor is going to be more tech-based on the inside. It has the larger vertical screen and digital gauge cluster, where this F-150 Raptor only has a partial digital gauge cluster and a lot smaller of a center screen. So if those things are important to you, then maybe go for the newer tech Ranger. But in terms of backseat space, if you have kids or even if you drive around big adults, this is definitely where you want to be. But now, let's get them out on the street and see who's really the boss. So it is time to put these two trucks head to head. Now, I did look it up. The Ranger Raptor is about 330 pounds lighter than the F-150 Raptor from 2018. So we do have a weight advantage, but we also have a deficit of 45 horsepower. So we'll see. This is going to be actually very interesting. I don't want to say scientific, but kind of scientific. All right, so this is the F-150 Raptor 2018. Has the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, as well as the same 10-speed automatic, 450 horsepower, so 45 more horsepower than the Ranger. Go! Now, not bad, not bad. Now, luckily, it is warm here today, so I was able to get a good going into high. You can put it into 4 auto, which would maybe help out, especially if it was colder or whatnot, but I'm happy with that. Is that knocking my socks off? No, but it's the fastest accelerating F-150 that you could have gotten in 2018. And so there you have it. I'm very curious to see how it stacks up to the Ranger Raptor. But dyno, I can't really tell too much. So I feel like it's going to be pretty close. The Ranger felt a little bit faster. It definitely made more noise or just had more going on up at the front. And there was a little bit of wheel spin where I did not get wheel spin in the F-150. So maybe that killed it. Maybe there was just more theatrics going on here with the Ranger Raptor. But that's going to be very interesting to see put together because I truly don't know who won. And they felt very, very close. Sometimes these little drag race things are very cut and dry, but I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't know. But you know. I'm excited that you know. Let's get on to the final thoughts. And so, there you have it, a comparison between the new Ranger Raptor and the previous gen F-150 Raptor. Now, I end all of these videos the same way. I ask you, the viewers, if you could have one of the vehicles featured in today's video with no miles dropped off at your house, which one would you choose? I personally would still take the F-150 Raptor of the previous generation. However, there is one big hesitation, and that is buying these trucks used can be a little bit dicey because, as you can tell with this one, owners love to modify them. It has bigger wheels, suspension, bumpers, things like that that might not age or wear like the manufacturer originally intended them to. And so there might be extra wear on the suspension. There might be a tune under the hood, different intakes that might not really be helpful to the engine. So when buying one of these off the used market, it can be enticing that it's only half the price, but please do your research. Buy from a good home, an unmodified one. Buy one from an older guy, not a kid that chopped the muffler off. So while I would take this for half the price, 100%, please be wary. Please do your research. Find a good, solid truck that hasn't been jumped through the air and put on YouTube a million times. You could buy one that's been on YouTube twice, though. This has been on YouTube twice and no jumps, so, you know, there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to David for letting me borrow his F-150 Raptor, as well as the Ford Motor Company for letting me borrow their Ranger Raptor press demo. I absolutely love these trucks, and honestly, at the end of the day, you're gonna have a badass truck either way. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.